Story 1. My dog would understand if she knew what happened. She already follows me everywhere and gets anxious when I am gone for more than a few hours. Sometimes I think she loves me more than I love myself. Story 2. My dog would probably get bored, dig me up, and take me back home. A bit of a surprise for the rest of the family. Story 3. My best friend, Lenny. My wife loves me, my kids love me, my brother and grandkids love me, but they are not insane and would all leave after an appropriate amount of time. Lenny would sit there talking to me, telling me funny stories, drinking beers, falling asleep, and going on and on for at least a few days. He is one in a million. Story 4. Not gonna lie, if I died, I am not really sure anyone I know would be able to be notified. I am a hermit with little to no social contact outside of the internet and work. Story 5. I would say my dog, but that is not true. He would walk away with the first person he thinks will feed him snacks. Story 6. I have already paid for my no-service cremation. My ashes will go to my sister, so I guess she will sit nearby until I am scattered. Story 7. Human resources and my supervisor. They would be trying to summon me back from the dead just to ask a couple of questions. And while you are here, could you take a look at this problem we have been having? I am sure it will just take you a minute. Story 8. My dog and tortoise would probably try to dig me out while my husband and child would try to stop them. I think my tortoise would live with me for a while. I have asked my husband to send me out to sea so I get eaten by the fish. It will ruin the beach for them. Oops. Story 9. Toss up between my best friend forever and son. I feel like my son would come see me every day just to talk. My best friend would scold me and cry. Balance. Story 10. I don't know. My family loves me, but we are not religious. I see no point in them freezing their butts off just to think about me. They can think about me at home if I were being buried, which I am not. Story 11. My parents. I was incredibly lucky to have very caring and loving parents. They would do anything for my sister and me. I cannot even begin to imagine the pain of losing a child. They spent most of their lives raising us to be good, strong people, and to see it gone too early would break them, I think. Parents should never have to bury their children. Story 12. My husband, for sure. He and I were meant to be together. There is no one who loves me like he does, except maybe my parents. Our twins and I have been on a week-long cabin trip with my parents, and he has been texting me every day to tell me how much he misses me and loves me. That man is my everything. Story 13. My friend helped me mentally get through basic training among other things, and I would do anything for him. He is like a brother to me. Story 14. I guess my parents. That's so sad. Whatever happens, even if it kills me when it inevitably happens, I just pray my parents die before me so they do not have to go through that. But also, please let it be when they are at least 95 years old. Story 15. Nobody. My wishes include not having a grave or any ceremony after I am gone, and no wake or meeting or whatever they want to call it. When I finally leave me alone. Story 16. Hopefully I do not know anyone so dizzy as to waste too much time mourning me. I hope they follow my example in life and embrace life and adventure, not sadness. Story 17. Nobody left strict instructions for cremation or aquamation and to scatter or flush the carcass. I have enough assets to pay for these disposal costs as well. My dog will be upset initially, but she has been provided for. My son will be upset too, but he is old enough to take care of himself. 50 years old or older. Story 18. Honestly, probably no one. Not trying to throw a pity party, just answering the question. I moved to Washington from Iowa in 2023. I don't miss the Midwest at all. 95% of my family was very racist, and I don't want any part of that. Since then, I've had 2 partners, both of whom tried to ruin my life over the breakups. I have my mom and dad in Iowa, but I know literally no one here in Washington. It's been a pretty lonely year. My parents are both struggling as well, so I don't even know if my remains would make it anywhere. We'll see though. Maybe things will change in the next few months or weeks. Story 19. Well, I do not want a grave. My family knows my wishes and they are documented. Donate as much of my tissue as possible to others, the rest to science, And then whatever is the least globally impactful option is what you do with the rest of me. Then have a party and tell tall tales about me. I expect my wife to miss me the longest. I expect my eldest child second longest. My youngest child will likely struggle for 6 months or so, my siblings and best friend about 3 months. But after a year, I expect to be all but forgotten, except for any financial issues I have not accounted for. Story 20. I would be able to afford a plot. I will leave the pencils I want made from my cremains to my brother for writing music. Story 21. My plan was to go deep into the woods and not come back, so maybe everyone will leave around the same time. Story 22. Hopefully, no one. I do not want people sitting around mourning me. Go live, be happy. Drink a margarita for me once in a while. Do not be sad. My troubles are over. Story 23. Probably my eldest daughter. We are very close. It is hard to even type this without getting emotional. Story 24. Tough question, but I guess it would be between the 2 dogs or 4 out of the 5 grandchildren. The youngest one is only 6 months old. I have a great relationship with my 4 granddaughters, so they would miss me very much. Story 25. Wild animals. I have enough land, so I am getting a private small graveyard on my property. It is in the back underneath an 80-year-old southern magnolia. If all the immigration paperwork goes well and my fiancée from China and I get married next year, and I die around my current age, most likely it would be her. Story 26. There will be no grave. I am content to live in the memories of all who have known me, and when they are gone, it will be time for eternal anonymity. Story 27. My family and my partner love me deeply. I truly believe that if something happened to me, the pain would be unbearable for them, and they would mourn for a long time. Story 28. My cat. But I think the cat would get bored and go pester some random elderly person for food. They are old, they are weak, he is 4-legged, and he is manipulative and evil. Story 29. My student is begging if I would consider giving them extra time on their missing assignments to raise their grade. Story 30. I hope no one forgets me. I do not want to be remembered in one place. I want my people to look forward, not back. I lived a good life. If I had a positive impact on anyone, they would honor me by going on an adventure I would have taken them to and thinking of me there. Story 31. I do not have money for a grave, so it will be a simple cremation. If by some miracle I do get a grave, it will probably be with my on-and-off girlfriend. Maybe she will figure out how she feels about me then. Story 32. My daughter is 6 but a little behind developmentally. She knows that graves mean someone has died but doesn't fully understand what death really means. If I died today, she would probably sit by my grave, asking me to get up for a while. She would only start crying when she realized I couldn't hear her anymore. Story 33. I would say my mother, but she will most likely have to go back home early to take care of my sick father. The same would go for my siblings. Most of my friends will be out of town, and I rarely talk to them anyway. They probably will not even hear the news. Story 34. I hope my girlfriend of 16 years, my mom, brother, and sister would be second. I hope my dad would not show up because he would be put in a grave right next to me immediately. There was some family drama that made him hated by everyone in the family. Story 35. Hopefully nobody. If they listen to my last request, there will not be one. They can sit under the nice shady patch of trees in the local national park that my ashes will fertilize someday. Story 36. My daughter says she wants my skull polish to keep on the mantelpiece. She is not even Gothic. I am fine with this. Story 37. Easily my mom. She would actually lay there for days on end, probably until my father and brother came to physically pick her up off the ground. Even then, she would probably be kicking and screaming at them. Hands down, my death or my brother's death would be the end of her. Story 38. The caretaker is probably wondering why no one came and who is going to pay him now. Story 39. My toddler, because he is glued to my side with his 17 million questions a day. Even in death, I would not get a moment's peace. Story 40. Honestly, I hope people stay at my grave for only a few minutes at most. Even then, Not on a daily basis. Only on days like my birthday or Christmas. You do not need to stand in front of a stone tablet with my name on it to think of me. Just because I am dead, I do not expect the people I leave behind to stop living their lives. Story 41. My best friend Sarah would definitely outlast everyone else. She is stubborn like that, and she would probably feel guilty about all the times she said she would visit but never did. Story 42. Nobody would know for several months. My dogs would probably die days after me, trapped in the cabin without water. The chickens would also perish because no one is tending to them. The cats may or may not survive, sometimes staying inside, sometimes outside. I go months without human contact. Nobody would know and nobody would care. Story 43. My 2-year-old son almost got hit by a semi-truck the other day. I immediately called my wife and spoke with her and my son. He is my little buddy, and dying before he can handle it is not an option. Story 44. I would not have a grave initially. I would be kept in an urn until my husband passes, and then our ashes and our cat's ashes would all go together and be interred at our chosen place. Even if people knew about it, they probably would not visit because it would be too far. Story 45. Nobody, and I wouldn't want them to. They would come to my funeral, see me laid to rest, then gather somewhere else at my expense to remember me and celebrate my life. Occasionally they might stop by to visit, maybe on my birthday or something, but in general they would go on with their lives. As long as they occasionally think fondly of me, I would be happy with this. Story 46. My mother, and perhaps my father. My older brother was recently murdered by a carjacker. It has been a little over a year, and seeing my mother grieve over it breaks my heart the most. She does not need to lose any more children. I'm trying to look after my health, but life is definitely hard. Story 47. Family, traditional Maori Tangi. 5 days with the body in the home being tended to and not left alone, day and night. Even international travelers who have died here are cared for this way. My wife used to work for an international freight company specializing in refrigerated transport. They shipped many bodies back to their home countries, wherever in the world that may be, and someone would stay with the body in shifts to keep them company. Story 48. If I died today, it would take at least a couple of days for everyone to arrange a funeral and wake for me. Story 49. I hope no one. I'm not there, but I'll probably end up cremated and sitting on my desk until the kids are done sorting out my life. Like Dad. Story 50. Nobody. My little sister would say the Kaddish prayer for me every year. Other than that, I would not really be missed. Story 51. I would hope nobody. No one is sitting with me while I am alive. What is the point of doing it when I am dead? Get on with your business. Story 52. My mother. Absolutely 100%. My wife, father, and sister all love me, but I know my mother will be gone the day I die. Story 53. No one. I am donating my body straight to Adam Savage so he and Jamie can launch me 10,000 miles per hour out of a vehicle. Hell yeah. Story 54. My mother. Just thinking about her having to go through losing me first made me really sad. I hope that never happens. Story 55. My son. I'm crying just thinking about how devastated he would be. My wife would be upset but move on faster than my son ever could. The child is still mourning a year later for a fish he had for a week. Story 56. Either my cat, the crow that I used to feed sometimes, or my dad's fish, assuming someone puts them near my grave. My cat will want food, the crow too, but it is not entirely focused on food, and my dad's fish will just swim around in their fishbowl not knowing what humans even are. Story 57. I would need to have a wireless internet router installed if I expect anyone to actually sit by my grave these days. Story 58. My instructions are to be buried in a woodland cemetery which will be unmarked. Put me in the ground, say a few words, play a guitar, and sing one song. Then everyone should go to a gathering to remember me by and continue with their lives, hoping that my bequests reflect my love for and gratitude to my friends. Story 59. No one, I hope. I would not like to think of anyone wasting their time being upset over something that is not going to change. Story 60. My mother passed away some time ago. Now, probably no one visits. I have a family, but they are not the type to sit by a grave. Story 61. My 5-year-old daughter, although I imagine someone would pull her away. As much as I complain sometimes that she clings to me, she is my world. She is always excited to see me come home and, on the other hand, upset if I am not around for the evening due to work. She just likes being close to me, to the point where she half sits on me most of the time. Story 62. My brothers, in the last few years we have lost 2 of our brothers. Last summer, when our oldest brother passed away, the 3 of us sat with him for hours by ourselves. Our family and friends respected our bond and gave us space. Story 63. This is not going to be relevant once I am dead. I would move on as if I am not even there. I wish nobody would sit by my grave for their sake. People need to move on and live their life. If we had a love connection, I would be in their hearts. Story 64. Probably someone unexpected. There are people who lurk in group chats and on social media who eventually tell me they have strong feelings for me. Story 65. My brother from another mother, so to speak. My big brother is over 10 years older than me, but I have the haunting feeling he will outlive me. Health issues are a cruel mistress. I have to get better because I do not want my brother to sit and watch over my headstone 24/7. He is absolutely the kind of person who would do that, but it would break him. Story 66. Probably my husband and my son. We have been married for almost 5 years and together for over 6 years. We have been through ups and downs, and we have a 9-month-old. Story 67. Easily my grandmother. She is the closest thing I have to a mother, and if I were gone, I know she would be the one sitting by my grave. Even in a wheelchair, I can picture her sitting there for hours. Story 68. Sadly, I will not have a grave. I will just be thrown on the bonfire and let the wind take me. Haha, I do not want to be maggot food. Story 69. Some stranger who feels sad and is looking for a reason to cry pretends that they are visiting their deceased friend. Story 70. I am not sure. My parents, hopefully. My dog. My boyfriend. My siblings. My best friend. Please. Story 71. I would probably say something cliché like my mother or father or both, and I would probably be right. But as I think about it, it is probably the friend who taught me how to shoot guns, took me to my first rave or festival, and bought my first plane ticket. We have done a lot together. But I honestly hope no one will mourn me because the way I see it, if I am dead, I am free. I have nothing to do or be concerned with. Everyone else does. I do not want them to mourn me. Just have a party, eat great food, have a few drinks, and do not cry over my death. Celebrating my life is far more what I want. And after that, go on with your own. I truly believe when the time comes, I will see them all again. Then we can have a massive party in the next life and tell stories. Story 72. No one in my family would try to dispose of me as cheaply and quickly as possible and continue with their lives like nothing happened. Story 73. It would be the dogs, wondering when it was time to play stick, which is the same as playing ball, only without the raggedy, slobber-soaked baseball we have been throwing for years. I miss you all very much. Story 74. My brother would keep playing funny movie reviews on his phone loud enough for me to hear. That is how he always gets me to leave my room because he stands outside my door and does that. I cannot help but laugh when I overhear them. So obviously I have to watch with him. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.